Hi and welcome to episode 6 of the Knitterarium podcast. My name is Ruth and this knitting, sometimes other crafts podcast is coming to you from Westmeath in Ireland where I live. Today is Friday, December the 30th, and I did record this episode earlier, but the lighting was so dreadful. I had to re-record it. So it's quite dark outside now. I'm hoping the lighting isn't too bad. I wanted to get this episode recorded because I wanted to catch up with everybody before 2016 ended. It's 3 weeks I think from I recorded the last episode, and with Christmas and being busy on the run up to Christmas, I didn't get a chance to record another episode, so I wanted to get this one in. I'm hoping to have this one edited and up before January the 1st, because on January the 1st we have our first knit along, which I'll talk to you about in just a moment. Now, you can find me on Instagram as Knitterarium. That is where I'm most active. I'm also quite active in the Knitterarium Ravelry group. If you search under the groups tab for Knitterarium, you will find us. I'll also put it down below, the links to both Instagram and the Ravelry group, so you can find them a little bit more easier. So yes, our first knit along, very exciting. Our first knit along starts on Sunday, January the 1st, and the theme for January and February's knit along is spoil yourself. Now, I should say 2017 at Knitterarium is the year of you. 2016 was just so dreadful and horrible for so many people in a lot of different ways, and too many ways to go into right now. But in 2017 I wanted to make it all about you. I wanted to slow down things, look after ourselves first, and in turn then you can look after everyone else. And so the whole year is going to be concentrating around a series of knit-alongs. We have 6 in total. Every 2 months we have a new one, and they all have a different theme. And if you go along to the Ravelry thread, you'll see what all of the themes are, and there are prizes which I'll start uploading to the prize post. I'll show them here on the podcast when I have them to show off, and we'll talk about a bit more about them then. As I said, January and February is spoil yourself. So pick your favourite yarn. You know, maybe you have a favourite colour of yarn that you like to wear, or maybe you have that special skein of yarn in your stash that you have been saving just for something for yourself. I know I have a couple. So I'm speaking from experience there. But pick your favourite Knitterarium shawl pattern. Come along to the thread, join in with the chat and the fun. There's games and prizes going on, and join us. We would really love to have you. I will speak about the pattern I'm going to be knitting, and I'll show you my yarn in the treasure trove section, because I may have purchased some yarn for it. Excuse me, black coffee. I'm sorry if I'm sounding also a little bit stuffed up. I have a head cold for the last couple of weeks, and it just doesn't seem to want to go. Now I am feeling a little bit better today than I have been, and so I do apologise if I sound a little bit. I sound worse than I am. It's really nothing more than a head cold. I think that's all I wanted to say really about the hashtag. this, you see, the last day I recorded this, I felt very rushed and that I hadn't given you all the information. And here I am again about to skip over it. The hashtag that we are using for the knit along is hashtag 2017 Year of You Shawl Cal. I'll put that probably about somewhere here, hopefully. Hopefully it'll pop up. It is in the thread in the Ravelry group as well, and it will be on all of my Instagram posts. So if you forget what it is, you'll find it there. It will be on everything. So I think we will move into happy feet. As I said, with my cold the last couple of days, and before Christmas, I wasn't feeling like knitting on too much, except socks. I knit on socks a lot. They were easy, they were quick. So I have some finished objects. Let me share them with you. So the first pair of socks I have are my Meeting Vanilla socks. I didn't show these on the last episode because I hadn't worked on them. Now, I'm really hoping that this purple shows up when I'm editing it. I know the last day I'd been talking about the dreadful colour and how everything wasn't showing up. So now I think I have that problem again. This is sock 1, and the cuff is knit in, it's Admiral Chopin in a purple. It just has a number, I don't know, it doesn't have a name. It is on my project page, so you will find it there. It's a purple and it has a purple toe, and to contrast then it has an Admiral, this is Admiral Chopin as well in an orange colour. Again, it just has a number. This is a German short row heel. I did 2x2 rib, just a plain vanilla sock. This yarn is Ellie and Ada Halloween Candy. Yes, I'll just check the tag. I have the bag here. Yes, Ellie and Ada's Halloween Candy. It is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And I have about this much left. So I am going to be able to get a pair of shorty socks knit with that at some stage. I like that. I like when I have enough yarn left that I can knit a pair of shorty socks along with it. So this is sock 1. This is where I was. I left my progress keepers on so you could see where I was. I had just completed the heel on it. So I finished the leg. No, I just finished the leg because these are knit. Yeah, sorry, these are top down. I'm getting confused because the other pair are toe up. So I had finished here and I put in the heel and knit the foot and toe on these. That's sock 1. Sock 2 then is in contrast to it. It has the orange cuff and the orange toe with a purple heel. And this is where I was. So I finished off the leg, knit the heel. This is a German short row heel. I'll show it in the orange, might be easier to see. That purple isn't showing up so well. Now when I do my German short row heel, I pick up 2 extra stitches in each corner, here and here, and then I decrease them on the next maybe round or 2 until I'm back at the original one. I just find that just works for me. That's what I do. I find it works for me. I like the fit of the German short row heel as well. And I know some people have been telling me about the Fish Lips Kiss heel. I might give that one a go in 2017. We'll see. This one does work. So This was 64 stitches, and I knit these, as I said, cuff down on my Knit Pro Sings. So that's the first finished object. I rather like these, they're quite fun. So that's finished object number 1. Finished object number 2. Sorry, now I just need to put them on the sock blockers. Finished object number 2 are the socks, the toe-up socks. Ellie from Craft House Magic and I were knitting together. We were having sort of an unofficial knit along of Nathan from Sockmatician. In case he ever actually watches this. Hi Nathan. I was watching his most recent podcast with the bells in his beard, which is it was quite fun. So we were doing sort of an unofficial knit along of the toe-up socks. You'll remember I knit these a short while ago in the Jack Skellington yarn that I had gotten from Nora George, and I love the fit of these socks. These are toe-up socks, and I loved the fit of Nathan's pattern, and Ellie was quite keen to try it out, and I said, well, let's give it a go. So we did. She has just finished her pair, and her pair are lovely. You should check them out. So, sorry, excuse me. Okay, so this is finish number 2. They are showing up rather green. They are more yellow than that. I will have pictures of these on my Instagram account tomorrow, both these and the other ones, so you can see the colours properly. I'll get some, hopefully we'll have some good daylight. Today was quite dull here, and I think that was the problem earlier as well. It was really so dull and dark that there was no good light at any stage. So this yarn was Summer Sorbet from Fine Fish Yarn. I have the tag here. I do. Fine Fish Yarn, Summer Sorbet, on her core sock base, 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. So that's what this yarn is. It is a lot more yellow than it seems to be shown up here. Now, maybe in editing, it'll look fine. I don't know. But it is a lot more yellow. The heel I did in the contrast. It is West Yorkshire Spinners Butterscotch. And this I did 1 by 1. I think this one is twisted rib. 1 by 1 twisted rib on the cuff of these. And this is sock 1. This is where I was the last day that I showed these to you. I was here, and so that was sock 1. Sock 2, I had just the foot done. The increases for the foot done is all I had done, and I knit the rest. So I have another finished pair of socks. I love yellow socks. Yellow socks make me smile. Yellow is never a colour I would wear in a garment or a hat. I wouldn't really wear it up around my face, but socks, I love it in socks. Yellow socks make me smile. So those are my second finished pair, and I have this much of the Summer Sorbet left. I'm not sure if I have quite enough for a pair of shorties out of this, but if I team it with something else, then I will, yeah. So no doubt next year I will be knitting a lot of shorty socks. The other that's all I have for finished objects. I have sock whips now though. I always have sock whips. So in my Design bag, I have my cobblestone socks by Mina Phillips. It's these here. I also knit the toe-up socks, these ones, on my Knit Pro things. Yes, Knit Pro things. Because these ones are on my Chelcoos DPNs. So this is sock 1. I was up here, and I know not a lot of progress, but what I did add is the heel then. And I did 1 by 1 rib on this as well. This one was just a regular 1 by 1 rib. It's not twisted. So it has a plain stockinette back, and then the texture front. That was that's those. So that's sock 1. This is Admiral Chopal. It's just in a kind of like a jean blue colour. Again, it just has a number, and it's on my project page on Ravelry. And this yarn here is Glass Case of Emotion by Green Elephant Yarns. So that's sock 1 and sock 2. This is sock 2. No, sock 2 is here. Is here. So these will probably be turn around. These will probably be the next pair to be worked on. That is one whip. The other sock whip I have is on Christmas Eve. I cast on a pair of Christmas Eve socks with Danny and from Little Bobbins and everybody else who was casting on. The pattern I chose, I'm keeping all these in my Eldenwood craft bag from Emma. I think I showed this to you the last day. I love this bag. The pattern I chose was Vintage Fairy Lights by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. That's it there. I print all my patterns in black and white, just it saves on my ink. And I'll show it to you now before I end up with it covered in notes. I'm always writing notes all over them. The yarn I'm using for that is my the Elm Tree yarns I got a couple of weeks ago. I was showing it to you. It is in the Marley colourway, and it is superwash merino nylon and silver stellina. Now I'm not sure if this is going to show up. It might. So again, this has 1 by 1 twisted rib, and then this is the pattern. I just have sock 1 cast on because I ran out of needles. I had so many socks cast on that I ran out of needles, and I have only one set of these Knit Pro needles left, and so I could only cast on sock 1. Now that I have freed up some needles though, I'll move these onto my zings and cast on the second sock, and I'll knit them concurrently. So this is stellina is showing up in it, but the colours aren't so great, but the stellina is catching in the light. This is the yarn I'm using. This is a really lovely pattern of Helen's. I can see I will knit another couple of pairs of those. It definitely won't be the first time to just knit that pattern, or the last. I will And that's all I have for you in Happy Feet. So I think we'll move on to Through the Wardrobe. The last day when I was talking to you, I have to tell you, sorry, some of these project bags are around. The last day I was talking to you about my herbarium, I was ready to split for the sleeves. Okay. So one of the days I hadn't been feeling so dreadful, so I had a split. Okay, so this is at this point I split for the sleeves, and I knit just back and forth, just plain stockinette on the back. I knit that much. I've just another couple of rows, and then I shape for the shoulders and then move to the front. So it is moving. It is moving along. I didn't go back to it after making that progress because I started to feel so dreadful again with the cold. I just didn't want to make any mistakes on it. It's easier to rectify a mistake on a pair of socks than on a large garment. So that was just plain stockinette. That's it there. So that's all the progress I made on it. For anyone who is new and maybe hasn't seen this before, the pattern is Herbarium by NCL Knits, and I am knitting that with Eden Cottage yarns in the Tempo 4-ply. It's the Apricot Tulip colourway, and it is 75% wool and 25% nylon. I'm hoping now, if this cold moves along, that I can make great progress on it. The rows are going a little bit quicker because, of course, I'm only working on the back, so it just feels like it's going quicker. It's not really, but it feels it. Yeah, I'm still enjoying this. I'm still enjoying this knit. I'm not going to say it's lovely. My sisters have been giving me some stick about the word lovely. So I'm not going to say it's lovely, even though it is. I suppose the fact that they're watching, really, I shouldn't be complaining, should I? And they'll probably tell me no, I shouldn't. So that's all I have in Through the Wardrobe. We'll move on now to On the Shawl Shelf. Go with this one first. As I said, I've only a small amount of progress on the shawls I have on the needles at the moment, because I was working on the socks. So the first shawl I have now, I'm knitting these shawls as part of the Indie gift along. That is finishing up tomorrow with a big party in the group over on Ravelry. So it is. Now I won't be finished my shawls in time for that, but it was never about finishing. For me, it was never about finishing these shawls during the gift along. It was to join in with the fun, and you know, there's great chat going on in the gift along threads. So this here is my deck shawl by Talitha Kuomi. This here is where I was. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm sounding very, very head cold. This here is where I was. So I've knit this. You cast on all of the stitches to begin with, and then you build it up working in short rows as you progress through the shawl. I'm really enjoying this shawl. It is such a fun and interesting knit, So it is. I love it is. I love the colours I chosen for it. Well, I suppose I should do, seeing as I'm going to wear it. So the colours I have chosen are this Tide. Again, these yarns are by Eden Cottage Yarns. This is Tide and it's in the Oakworth 4-ply. And that is 100% New Zealand Polworth wool. And that's colour 1. And colour 2 is this Twig colourway. So those are the two colours I have chosen for this shawl. I have a picture of the pattern here, I'll show you. This is again a paid for pattern. I'll just show you the picture. This is it here. The deck by Talitha. And Talitha always designs such, they're fun and interesting and cool kind of designs. So they are. I can't recommend her patterns highly enough. That is that shawl. The second shawl that I had cast on is the Levantry shawl by Sarah Jordan. This, in contrast to the other shawl, this is a great sit back and relax kind of shawl. Again, it's a black and white picture, but if you want to, they're all on Ravelry, so if you just look up the Levantry shawl by Sarah Jordan, you'll be able to see colour pictures of it there. There's a lace border here, and then the body of it is striped. You'll see that now on my one. So, in a tangle. This is the progress I've made on mine so far. This here is where I was the last day, so I've just gotten a couple of more stripes done. I'm over halfway on the stripes. On this, it's a triangular shawl, and this this colour 1 is Pumpkin Passion by Strand Designs. It's a 4-ply yarn. I think I have the card for it. Yes, Pumpkin Passion. It's a sock 4-ply, 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. That's that colour there. Little touches of orange and purple, and to pick up the purple then, for contrast, I'm using this. It's a Madeline Tosh Prairie yarn. It's a lace weight yarn, but I'm just holding it double. This is it here in the ball. I'm not sure whether that's going to show up so well or not. It's a wonderful rich purple, and this is the cake of yarn of. So that's what I'm knitting mine in. So then that lace border is knit in the contrast purple colour, and as I said, I'm over halfway on the stripes. This is a really relaxing knit. You can sit back, watch a movie, and knit on this. It's so lovely and easy. It's wonderful, and again, another really well written pattern. It's wonderful. I'm really enjoying this knit too. I'm very pleased with the shawls I picked to knit as part of the knit along this year. And as I said, it was never about me finishing the shawls, it was more about supporting the other indie designers and just joining in generally with the fun of it. So that's all I have for on the shawl shelf. What's next? Treasure trove. I'll just reach over here and get. Sorry now. I had been showing you in the last episode my advent calendar by Nora George. Each day I got to open up a little mini, and it was great fun. I opened them up. Children have all their little mittens hung up. They opened theirs. I put a small piece of chocolate into each one for them, and while they were enjoying those this year, I had my advent calendar, mini advent calendar from Nora George. And then on Christmas Day, as part of the package, this there was this skein of yarn. This one is called Advent Calendar, and it is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina in it. And I'll just take this off. The colours in this is just gorgeous. Look at this. Isn't that just fantastic? This is lovely. So I got to open up this one on Christmas Day. So although this isn't, I have this bought a while and I've just been saving it on for now. It is new because it was all wrapped up. I couldn't see it. So we'll just put that back on. But I also when I got this kit, I also got the 12 Days of Christmas kit from Tracy from Nora George Yarns, and that was starting on the 26th of December and runs until the 6th of January. And you got 12 individually wrapped. This is tomorrow's one. Little these are, I think it's 20 grams. I'll just check. 20 grams, 80 meters of 4-ply yarn, 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. Sorry, excuse me. So this is door number 6. And then on tomorrow, I also get to open this one. This one was for New Year's Eve. It's a surprise one. See a little question mark on it. So that's the surprise one. So the fun has been continuing. I've been able to open one of those. I'll reach over and get them. So this one here was a partridge in a pear tree. This was package 1. Package number 2 was 2 turtle doves. See, we'll let it focus a little bit on it. 3 French hens was this. I'm not sure if that one is showing up. That was 3. 4 calling birds. These wonderful bright yellowy greens. These ones are so lovely. And then 5 gold rings. So that's 1 through to 5 of those. So they're lovely. They'll be perfect for contrasting heels, toes and cuffs this year. And oh yes, my yarn for the knit along. I'm storing these in my Hawthorne Cottage bag. I don't know if that's showing up. I chose Eden Cottage yarns for my Spoil Yourself yarn. If you're a long time viewer, I'm saying long time, but really 6 episodes, does that make you a long time viewer? Anyway, you may have guessed by now that I really like Eden Cottage yarns. I love their whole colour palette, and Victoria was having one last update before Christmas, and I happened to snag some skeins of this. This is Falkland 4-ply. This is in her Chrome or Pier colourway. It's 100% Falkland merino wool, and it is so soft and so squishy. It is, I'm not sure if the colour is showing up so well. It is bluey grey kind of colour. Now I did order enough of this that I had planned to knit Ganyev, which is one of the shawls from the Summer Memories collection, and it is knit in lace weight yarn. But there's no reason why you can't change up the weight of yarn you're using. Your gauge will be different, so it will, and your finished measurements will be different. But once you're prepared for that, you know, give it a go. You know, just because it's not the same, just because it's not the mentioned yarn in the pattern, doesn't mean you can't substitute something else for it. I think sometimes that's one of the most exciting things. I think just be prepared to swatch and just know that it will, you know, it'll finish a little differently, but that's the fun of it. So it is. I know even if my mum and I knit with the exact same project, with the exact same yarn, ours would come out completely different. I can't give my knitting to her to finish off, and she can't give it to me. She'd be complaining that mine was too tight, and I'd be complaining hers was too loose. We knit at completely different tensions, even if everything else is the same, completely different. So anyway, I was going to knit, that's a side tangent there, I was going to knit, I got enough of this to knit Ganyev from the Summer Memories collection. Now Ganyev means sand in Irish, because I do know Colleen from Red Chair Knits, who's, I think she's hoping to join in the knit along. She was wondering what some of the patterns were called. So this is Ganyev. I'll try and put that name up here so you know which one, because how I pronounce it is probably not how it's spelled. So if you know anything about Irish words, we don't spell things the way we pronounce them in Irish either. So I had gotten, I'm gone on a tangent now. I had gotten enough of this, and then when it arrived, I've been thinking, oh, you know, I could do something else a bit different. So I went to my stash, as you do, and I found this Eden Cottage yarns. This one here is Pendle 4-ply, and it's in the Flowering Current colourway. It's 100% superwash merino, and it's looking a little bit washed out. It's a little bit deeper of a pink there, not as deep a pink as my hair, but yeah, it's a little bit deeper than it is there at the same time. And I decided I was going to use the two colours together to make an Air Nefariga. That is also from Summer Memories collection, and I'll put it there so you know. That means sea air in Irish. Okay. And it was again in lace weight, so that's what I'm substituting these two for that. And I can't wait. These are both so soft and squishy. I can't wait to cake those up and see what they look like. So that is what I'm going to be knitting for the Spoil Yourself knit along on Sunday, on January the 1st. Now, what else? That's all I have in Treasure Trove. As I said, that was the only thing, the wool from Eden Cottage Yarns, that was the only thing I had really ordered. I have been good. I've been tidying up some stash. There was a lot. I had been tidying it up. So that's all I have in Treasure Trove. That was all that I ordered. It was very good. Sales are on in January though, aren't they? Anyway, let's talk about something I've been looking at. Oh, I have to reach over here, sorry. Looking at casting on. This is the Pitch Cowl by Nettie Goshik. It's just the front cover. Again, this is a paid for pattern, so I can only show you the picture. Now Lindsay knits with Eco Yarns, and she knit this with leftovers. You may remember Lindsay was the one who enabled me to start some of those shawls earlier. She did. I am enjoying them. But anyway, this is her latest cowl pattern, and I have some leftovers. I'm going to take a bit of a stash dive and see what ones I have that might work for this. I'm going to cast that on. Might get another pair of socks off the needles, maybe make a bit of progress on a shawl, and then I will start that. I'm looking forward to starting that. I have it printed out a couple of days and I've been looking at it, and I've been trying to be good and actually finish some of what I have on the needles already. We'll see how long that lasts. Mightn't last very long. So let's move on to Design Corner. Now I have no mannequin behind me. I have no mannequin behind me because at the moment I haven't just returned to work knitting. With my cold, I haven't returned, and as it's coming to the end of the year, I have been planning on what I want to do for next year. Now is a time that I tend to look back at what I've done and where I want to go, what I want to achieve next year. And that's what I've been doing the last couple of days. The Dying of the Light test knit is still going. It's going to be wrapping up in the next week or so. And the shawls that the ladies are producing are just gorgeous. I really can't wait to share them with you. They're absolutely, the colour combinations some of them have picked are just fantastic, and they're all wonderful. I do know that a couple have asked me whether when that pattern will be released and whether it will qualify as part of the knit along, and yes, it will qualify. Throughout the year there'll be a lot of shawls that will be released. Certainly in the first 5-6 months of 2017 there will be a lot of shawls released, and each one of them will qualify for the knit along. Just as I say, the knit along that you sign up for kind of has to be finished for that knit along to count for prizes. But other than that, go for it. It will be released hopefully within the next 2 weeks. I have some photographs to get taken, but the weather is it's not playing ball at the minute. And other than that, once the test knitters finish, it will be ready to go. So that one that's what I do have on that. I have, once I return to work knitting next week, I have a couple of more designs to get off the needles. So those will be coming out soon. And really, I think if you want to stay ahead of, or want to know what's really coming up, my newsletters tend to be the best way to find that out. I can never seem to remember what I want to say when it comes to the podcast, even with notes. So I do a whole lot better in the newsletters, believe me. I suppose if you're interested, you can sign up on Knitterarium.com, and again I'll put that here. On the home page, down towards the bottom, you will see the newsletter link, and on the contact me page you will also find the newsletter link, so you can head over there and sign up if that's what you're interested in. And I think that's all that I have for Design Corner for the moment. Yeah. So there is also, I wanted to actually mention, in the Ravelry group there is also a dedicated Ask Me Anything thread. So if you've got any questions, pop them in there or down below in the comments section, and I will try and answer them as best I can for you. I did just want to mention that because a few had a few questions about patterns and names, and I'll try and go through the names of some of the other patterns for anyone who's wondering how do you pronounce them. I think that might be all I have for you. So really, all I'm left with saying is I want to wish you all a very happy and healthy 2017. I hope it's filled with everything you want. Thank you again for joining me for the episodes. I didn't think in starting 2016 that I would have worked up the nerve to record the podcast. It was something I'd been wanting to do for quite a while, and I've been watching podcasts for quite a while. So I didn't think in starting 2016 that I would actually get around to doing it. And the fact that I did, and I'm finishing 2016 with having done it and recorded 6 episodes now, hopefully when I get this one up. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that actually. It's one of the better parts, I think, 2016, so it is. So we'll wrap it up there, I think, and Happy New Year to you, and happy knitting, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye!